working it or working out, feel free to look us up on any platform that you listen to your podcasts on, and you should find us there. We're everywhere. We're like a bad virus. No, but I sure did miss you guys last weekend. Last weekend I was doing security for the tribe over in Ignacio, Colorado, and that was quite epic. Everybody was on their best behavior, and I saw a lot of beautiful things and heard a lot of beautiful things and laughed a lot. I don't know if you guys saw my live videos about the dinosaur races, but that was pretty cute. If not, I left a note on the We Are Paradox Media page as to where you could look for those, and I might go over there and just share them over here. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So we worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Sunday night, we saw a lot of UFO activity. And I don't know if you've seen the videos with like the beams going across the sky and stuff, but we saw that. It was tripping. And it was funny because I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't want to be like putting thoughts in people's heads or whatnot. But then my friend Casey said, "Oh, do you guys see those things going across the sky like lasers?" And I was like, "Yep." I wasn't going to say anything till somebody else did because I didn't want to implant any sort of thoughts or anything into anyone's heads. So that was pretty epic. I think I tried to get video, but it was too dark. I've been reading up on the internet about that as far as how you can change your settings to make it work. And I haven't got to that yet because I've just been busy. I'm either working or working at home. Seems like there's no rest for me, TessaTNT. But yeah, we're getting everything roped up, ready to go. Let me get over here on my liked page so I can share this with you. And yeah, I got a lot of pretty cool TikToks to share with you. So I hope you enjoy them. Also, if you guys have any TikToks you'd like to share, feel free to do that on my Gmail, which is weareparadoxmedia@gmail.com. And I'll save that for the third hour. So if you guys do send any TikToks during the show, I'll share those during the third hour. If not, share them, and then I'll bring them back next week when we do Trippy TikToks again. All right, let's get into it. Ooh-wee. So let me go over here. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. That was so freaking weird. With the camera not working all of a sudden. Oh yeah, and there was all kinds of shadows, like shadow figures over there at the fairgrounds that we were working at. Quite trippy. All right, we're going to share screen here real quick. Let me go over and check my settings over here. Oh, also, I was wondering, man, you hear things about all over the world, the UK, Ireland, Scotland, different things that are happening in the world. And it makes you wonder, because all of these news outlets are basically owned by the same people. Is this stuff really happening, or is this just, shenanigans? So let me know about that too. What's going on in your neck of the woods? That way we can all partake in it and understand what's going on. I know this immigration thing has been quite difficult, and I know a lot of us are not difficult. I guess it can be. I am hard-headed. I can admit that. But hold on a second. Let me regain my train of thought. Nope. Skip the tracks. No, I'm hard-headed is what I was going to say. I think it's just my Irish roots. I don't know. I'm stuck in my ways to a certain extent. All right, let's get this TikTok up and running. We got a lot of different things going on, like UFO sightings, glitch in the matrix, out-of-body experiences, ghost stories. The list goes on. And like I said, if you have anything you'd like to share, bring it. And we'll do it. We'll share it. I definitely love to hear from you guys as far as what's up with that. Holy shnikes, look at that layout. It looked a lot smaller from my vantage point. Ew-wee. All right, let's go. We're going to start from the top. Uh-oh. Okay. Wait. Why is this doing this? Why is the sound not working? Okay. Why? This was all working earlier. I swear to God it was. The sound, everything. Let me go reset my sound over here. That shouldn't be an issue. Audio engine anyways. Audio engine restarted.
I experienced in Tennessee. Believe it, because it happened. Here's the story. Last night.
There we go. Wasn't that weird? Like, why wasn't that working at first? I do not know. All right, now we got it back. Okay. Look at that mess. Look at all that stuff I looked at to share with you. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you cannot see what we're doing, like I said before, you can find us on We Are Paradox Media on Facebook. You can find us on We Are Paradox Media on YouTube as well as Twitch. Well, let's get to it then.
I experienced in Tennessee. Believe it, because
Okay, let me go back here real quick. And I swear to God, I did test all this stuff out before doing this. Click on this. Turn off. Okay, good. Now we're in line. I hope we had it fixed before. All right, let's close this out. Go back.
I experienced in Tennessee. Believe it, because it happened. Here's the story. Last night, wake up. 2 a.m. I get up. I'm peeing off the porch, and I'm just looking at the stars. I'm like, wow. And then I notice like a really bright star in the divot of these trees. And I like look and I'm like, wow. And it was like 2 seconds. And then, I'm not kidding you. Do you know when you're sitting there and you can just feel someone staring at you?
Ew, weird.
That's what I felt like with this star.
Oh no.
Okay, like I experienced in Tennessee. Believe it, because it happened. Here's the story. Last night, wake up.
2 a.m.
I get up. I'm peeing off the porch, and I'm just looking at the stars. I'm like, wow. And then I notice like a really bright star in the divot of these trees. And I like look and I'm like, wow. And it was like 2 seconds. And then, I'm not kidding you. Do you know when you're sitting there and you can just feel someone staring at you?
Ew, weird.
That's what I felt like with this star.
Oh no.
Okay, like caught my attention, like, are you looking at me kind of thing?
Yeah.
This thing went like this. Did that, I go, frozen fear. Peed all over my foot, and it, like lightning bolt fast, shot off over the horizon, backwards. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
And I went inside. I was so scared. I didn't go to sleep until like 5:30 in the morning. I was laying down. I said, God, I do not want to be taken. I don't want to be experimented on, please. I experienced in Tennessee. Believe it, because it happened. Here's the story. Last night, wake up. I experienced in
No, but I'm
I
glad
don't
that
know
it
if
was
this is true
from
or
a
not,
distance.
but apparently there's a startup company. It's called Buy Sunlight.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, like what I was going to say is I'm glad it was from a distance because like I have family members through marriage and other people that I know who have had up close and personal like UFO experiences where they're either looking up and into a UFO or they're near a UFO and they end up getting really, really bad like skin cancer or brain cancer or whatever part of them was beneath this UFO or whatever they were looking at or facing this UFO, or some people touched the UFO. Like we've heard stories from like Army engineers and stuff. But yeah, he was lucky it was off in the distance, but it was close enough to be a bit scary.
Dude, yeah, it's real. 100%
It is real?
It's very real.
If it's dark outside, you can literally purchase sunlight, and what it does, it gives you a map, and then you click where your house is, or you can do a friend's house, and a satellite pivots to where it imitates the sun.
Yeah.
And you can literally purchase for your house to get direct sunlight at night.
The first people that purchase it, you're going to have 30 minutes or something, and it's like 5 kilometers. So it's like not just your house.
Oh, you're affecting
also
everyone.
Like
Yeah.
like at 3 a.m., you could literally just have like full on sunlight and just prank your neighbors or something.
What are some
It's weird.
circumstances in which you would want to do that outside of pranking your buddy?
I want them to do the opposite. It's like 5 o'clock after work, and I want to go to bed early, but I also want to have people over for a fire. It's like, just turn the light off.
What if they can't control the magnitude of the sun reflection, and
Which
it's like
dies.
ants with a magnifying glass, like literally lights us on fire?
Just gone.
Oh, I don't know if this is true or not, but
That'd be terrible.
okay, let's talk about this.
Oh yeah,
Earth.
bear with me, Adrian.
Oh, I don't know if-
Go back here really quick. 'Cause
I
gotta,
experienced in Tennessee.
tag
Believe
these,
it, because
or
it
else I'm gonna
happened.
have to go through
Oh,
them
I don't
again.
know if this is true or
I
not.
had like
but-
hours of work.
Okay,
to
let's
do
talk about this earthquake that could destroy all of California. We're calling it the big one. But they're saying the cascading subjection zone, it's about to go off.
Really?
When it goes off, it will be a 9.0 or higher.
Oh my gosh.
4 minutes of continuous shaking.
Dude, that's just destroying a whole city.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In 1994, the LA earthquake that happened, that was
Yeah.
a 6.7 magnitude, but it caused over $50 billion in damage. It destroyed LA.
Dude, a 9.0 is thousands of deaths.
Animals would be able to pick up on it 90 seconds before it happened.
Dude.
They said massive tsunamis. People along the west coast, they would have about 10 to 30 minutes to reach higher elevation before this giant wall of water just came.
It's so terrifying.
They're saying the one plate, instead of it like getting bound up, it's literally folding over on itself.
Oh no.
so it's going to
Basically-
crash.
So it'll just be like a big.
Oh my gosh.
So it's literally
dude.
just like building all this tension.
That's called potential energy, and then when it moves, is kinetic.
Okay, let's talk about this earthquake that could
Okay, now
destroy.
she's trying to get all
The-
scientific on us. I like how she scrunches up her face. All right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have thought about this since you were kids, but I have. I don't know why. Like, death and natural disasters and different things like that. Paranormal, aliens, etc. have been on my mind since I was a kid. Like, the books I'd read would be paranormal or ghost story books. Goosebumps I really didn't get into, but there was another book. I think it was, the hell was his name? Edgar Allan Poe. There was also a kid's book that he had written or somebody had put together that kids could read of his, but thinking of California and always just imagining it falling off into the earth, which, I don't know, maybe part of it, like, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just the shockwaves from that earthquake causing the tsunami, from parts of the earth falling off into the ocean and it causing a wave and then it coming back. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm not a scientist, but science was my favorite topic. But yeah, it's just very intriguing, like, what the heck is going on these days? And the potential, like, there's been earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. As long as Yellowstone doesn't go off, I'm all right, I suppose. As long as it doesn't affect my loved ones and a lot of people. Like, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but things are crazy these days.
Apophis asteroid has been circling Earth for quite some time.
Yeah.
But this time, scientists at NASA were alarmed of how close it is actually getting to Earth. And it's supposed to pass Earth on, I think it's April 2029. They're saying the size of a cruise ship and that it'll be traveling at 44,000 miles per hour.
That's crazy.
That's 18 times faster than a bullet. The thing said it's coming within 22,000 miles of Earth. I'm like, oh, that seems really far.
Yeah.
Guess how far the moon is?
Oh, I know this. No, I don't.
239,000 miles.
Oh, that's too close.
Do you guys want to see the video that I saw about this asteroid?
Yeah.
Okay.
When it impacts, it would deliver more energy than 1,000 Hiroshima nuclear bombs.
Oh,
Oh my
my goodness, bro.
I actually don't even like thinking about this.
Every Ninjas and Butterflies listener ever.
I actually don't like thinking about this.
Thank you anyway.
Could you please stop it? The Apophis.
Exactly. If you guys have not subscribed to these guys, I love their energy. I love their lightheartedness. No matter what they're talking about, I don't know. I always seem to smile, even though it's a devastating thing. I don't know, just some of the things that are brought up, but these butterflies are ninjas. Yeah, these guys are epic. You should subscribe to them and check out their stuff.
I came across a document today from the CIA.
This is scary.
It's something.
Let's go.
The CIA representatives referred to the case as a, quote, horrific picture that makes one's blood freeze, end quote. A quiet, low-flying spaceship appeared above a military unit. For unknown reasons, someone unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile and hit the UFO. 5 short humanoids, large heads, and large black eyes, end quote, emerged from it.
What?
That's not even the crazy part. After freeing themselves from the debris, the aliens came close together and then, quote, merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape, end quote. The object began to buzz and hiss sharply and then became brilliant white. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who watched this phenomenon turned into ... stone poles.
What?
Is that not crazy?
It's so crazy.
You know, there's
I don't know, that's kind of like biblical stuff. Like, if you look back, you're turned into pillars of salt. Somehow a hair got on my lip. Maybe it's this one. Turned to stone. That's Medusa, right? What the crack? But no, when he said that about the aliens coming together and then becoming this bright orb, alien orbs. There's different colored ones. I have a picture I'll share with you guys later. That is quite prolific. It's mind-blowing. I want to go in and edit it to where it's brighter, but at the same time I don't want to, because I don't want people to be like, oh, she totally photoshopped this. Come on.
There's an OBE, which is an out-of-body experience, but that is really an unfortunate misnomer, because you're not getting out of your body. See, the whole concept of out of your body is body-centered, right? I have this body. My consciousness is in my body. Your consciousness is in your body. You don't even have a body. This is a virtual body. You're just consciousness. But you think, I'm a body, my consciousness is in my body, and I got to get my consciousness out of my body. Okay, where's your consciousness? Oh, it lives in my brain. You know, there's a little house, it has a little house in there, right? Little kitchen, you know, nice little living room, big TV. And the consciousness lives in there, and it has to get out of my body. Well, you're not in your body. Don't make it body-centered. Doesn't have anything to do with your body. You don't have to get out of your body. You're already out of your body. Your consciousness. You see, what you need to do is get into your consciousness. So people, you know, there's...
Wow.
So the line between dream states, visions, hallucinations...
And like what he was saying, like, your consciousness, your mind. I don't know about you, but I'm spinning my wheels in my mind all the time. Probably going to come to terms with early dementia or something like that because of how many things I worry about. How my mind keeps me awake at night until, you know, the sun comes up. Different things like that. No, I'm not a tweaker. But yeah, seriously, like this stuff really intrigues me. And like I said before, the only out-of-body experiences I've had were by accident. I've never done that. But yeah, I would like to see more of his stuff to see what exactly he's talking about. But I do not know. And it's funny because you'll come across videos and they'll look really old and they're really not. So it just makes you wonder what sort of equipment and stuff they're using and how long ago was that video made. I don't think it really matters because a lot of this information doesn't change, but I'd like to get back into that one and see what's up with it.
is actually very subtle. I mean, if you think about it, the mind is actually an excellent con man, and it's always trying to convince you of something that isn't really something, right? I mean, the reality is there's no sort of validation, there's no sort of quantitative or qualitative evidence you're going to find to prove that you've actually had a vision or an out-of-body experience. So let's take the concept of dreams, for example. Me personally, I don't try to figure out what they are or what they mean, but rather I try to figure out like what kind of personal reflection and what kind of personal experience I can take from the dreams. And so when I've had these sort of out-of-body experiences, you know, they're more of a feeling. And the psychologist in me would say, oh, what an interesting experience. But the rational mind is completely different from the metaphysical mind. I mean, personally, I don't know which one of them is right, and I really don't care because it's a subjective feeling that I have. And just like the experience of me walking on this ground is a feeling, the experience of the feelings of sadness and fear and anger are all things that I also experience. But these experiences give us intuitive strength. On an intellectual level, it's just that. It's thoughts and intellectual things that I can't quantify. But on a spiritual level, they definitely give me a certain sense of inner strength. So how do you know if you've had an out-of-body experience? Well, that's just it. The intellect doesn't know. But your spirit and your mind does have a feeling and does have a subjective experience. So whether you can prove something with facts or not, it really is irrelevant because pretty much everything about all science has been proven by facts, and the things that haven't been proven yet are yet to be proven. So the line between dream...
Isn't that a riddle in itself? Yeah. The mind is a powerful thing, so is that intuition. So, I don't know, like I've been pretty messed up for the last, I'll say week, ever since last Sunday, and it's because I'm intuitive, I'm empathic, I pick up on stuff. And when stuff ain't right, I know stuff ain't right. So, yeah, I've been very anxious, nauseous, trying to breathe, stressed out. I can't stand it. I can't wait till it's over, but I know something's wrong, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I could tell from the get-go. But people think they're really smart, when in fact, they're not. You ain't pulling the wool over my eyes, mofo. Just wait and see.
32-kilometer high towers being planned that will be suspended from an asteroid.
Have you heard about this? Okay, Japan. Let's go. This is pretty trippy, I have to tell you. It's so weird. So weird. Skyscraper that is not bolted to the ground. It's freestanding. They're going to strap it to an asteroid. How exactly is this supposed to work?
A 32-kilometer high tower is being planned that will be suspended from an asteroid. Yes, 32 kilometers. That's 20 miles high, and it's totally real, proposed by Clouds Architecture in 2017. For reference, the current tallest building in the world is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai at 830 meters. This will be almost 40 times higher. Called Al Nilima Tower, it's planned to be attached to an asteroid 50,000 kilometers in space, suspended by a series of cables that will hold the building in place. The asteroid will follow a figure-8 path in Earth's orbit, moving at 480 kilometers an hour, so the tower will actually fly through different cities every day. This mega high-rise will sort of be its own self-sustained city, not even connected to the ground and divided into separate sections, each with their own purpose. Starting with entertainment, shopping, dining, and office spaces at the very bottom, we go into the gardening and agriculture section, and then the residential above that. The monument, which will probably be for like nice views and sightseeing, worship for religion, and reliquary, which is a place used to store sacred relics. I kind of wonder what they're going to keep there. Then at the very top is the funerary. Their cemetery, which will be so high that you get an extra 42 minutes of daylight and a 10% horizon visibility. Maybe we'll finally be able to see the curvature of the Earth from up there. The top of this tower will be more than 3 times the average cruising altitude of a commercial airliner. Partially powered through solar panels, and water will be supplied filtered through clouds and rain. There are still so many unanswered questions for this project, like how will people even get off the building, which the company suggested parachutes, or how will anyone even survive in residential units higher than Mount Everest, where oxygen is thin and temperatures at -40 all year round. At the end of the day, this is just a proposal that hasn't started construction yet, and they do say that we don't exactly have the technology to support it yet. But it does seem like they put some very serious thought into it, so I don't know, Dream Home 2050, or is this just a tower version of Snowpiercer? A 32...
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Weird to say, but I would like to thank the Church of Scientology. Because when I posted this video, it was dead in the water. I mean, the like to view ratio was under 1%. But then you sent your plant or your troll into the comment section, and boy did it blow up. And the comment I'm quoting is not the person trolling. I wanted to go with something that was funny and clever, and he is not that. But dude, I think it's time you moved on to my other videos, because they're all about Scientology. I think I made this video just to talk about a sweet old man making sweaters for penguins. No, I brought it up because it's in Adelaide, South Australia, and that's my shout out to my boy, Mike Render. You may think that this is just a video about how much I like the Aquabats, but no, it is a deliberate snub against Smash Mouth and their guitarist-songwriter, Greg Camp. He's a Scientologist. The years start coming and they don't stop coming. That's because he signed a billion-year contract. Rescuing Big Bird from the dumpster, this is obviously a poorly disguised metaphor about the search for Shelly Miscavige. So you know what, Scientology plant? Come on, I welcome you. Just show the love to my other videos too. This one, it's sad
How is
enough.
this even a
This feels weird to
thing?
say, but I would like to thank the Church of Scientology. Frequently asked questions from the video about Bluff, Utah being, evidence we live in a...
Okay, we're gonna go to the
I don't necessarily
first
believe
one,
we live
and
in a
then that one.
simulation, but after visiting Bluff, Utah, I can't rule it out as a possibility. We got to the hotel. It was a portable building. Like when your elementary school got too small for all the kids in it and they put extra buildings out back for the teachers they didn't like. That was our hotel room. But that doesn't prove anything. It didn't even make me start thinking weird. But it's what the front desk lady said that everyone else in town said to me too that got me wondering. We went to the little market and we got a variety of things, candy bars, some stuff to make sandwiches, drinks, bread. Got back to the room, we noticed everything had expired 2 weeks earlier. And those things don't have the same shelf life, like bread and Coca-Cola and a candy bar all expiring 2 weeks earlier at the same time. And when we tried to check out, the lady at the counter said the same phrase that the hotel clerk said. Went to the one restaurant we found in town, and the waitress, we'd ask her questions like, hey, can we get pickles with that sandwich? She would say, I don't know, it's my first day working here. We went to the cashier. I asked her if I could add a tip onto the bill. She said, I don't know, it's my first day working here. I tried to check out with all my expired food at the market. The credit card didn't work, and the lady's like, I don't know what's going on. It's my first day working here. The front desk lady at the portable building of a hotel took over an hour to find our reservation because she didn't know how to work the computer because it was her first day working there. I'm just saying, if we are living in a simulation, I think no one had traveled to Bluff, Utah in a few years and it hadn't been rendered in a while. When they saw me coming, they just rendered it real fast and nothing quite worked. I don't necessarily believe frequently asked questions from the video about Bluff, Utah being, evidence we live in a simulation. The reason I don't have videos because the things that stood out were responses from clerks, which why would I be videoing that anyway, and expired food. And this actually happened in 2015, so it did not seem that interesting at the time. The only two pictures I took were me in front of this twin sisters tower thing they had and this umbilical cord holder that was next to the cash register at the restaurant. The reason
So they also have the disappearing angels. I don't know if you've seen that, but I think it's near the twin sisters. I'm not sure.
we went to Bluff is because we had the scratch off map where you scratch off the states as you visited, and we were in Arizona and we're like, let's hop over the border, spend the night, and that way we can scratch Utah off our map when we get home. The rest of these pictures I found online. The interior of the hotel that was in a portable building, I didn't call it a trailer because it wasn't like a trailer like a double wide or single wide. It was one of those portable buildings like they had the back of the elementary school when it got overcrowded. Oh, another fun fact of the trip, the only channel on the TV that worked was a David Koresh documentary. So if you can figure out who was showing a David Koresh documentary on March 20th, 2015, that's the channel they had. When I said I got things for sandwiches and candy bars, those were two separate things, but don't forget, I made a book compiling the favorite sandwich of every celebrity in the world, and right here, between Joey Bishop and Will Clark, is the Jenna Elfman, which is just a sandwich made out of candy bars. And it was a different worker at every business. It wasn't just the same lady popping up all over town. Also, Bluff, if you're going to claim to be established in 650 AD, you've had plenty of time to do something with the place. Frequently asked questions. I don't know.
At this point, you guys are gonna fucking think that I am doing this for attention. You're gonna think that.
Okay, let's go to the original.
A 7 p.m. alarm for your anxiety pill has been set.
So stories how motherfuckers says that we can't take me down. Similar story. So me and my girlfriend were sitting in my apartment. We were just chilling, smoking, and doing whatever. And we were just having a conversation, cursing. And next thing you know, like my phone said. See, mind you, my phone, Siri, she pronounced my name.
I got clickbaited on this one.
My name is Tiana.
See, this is when you can tell I haven't watched them.
Cheyenne, right? So, why the hell this fucking AI bitch gonna say? So I'm like,
She keeps popping up on my phone for no apparent reason.
Cursing. Why my fucking phone gonna say? Shiny, that's not nice. I said, what the fuck? And me and my friend looked at each other like, what? I'm like, my phone listens to my conversation. She like, I told you these fucking new phones I said, yo, I'm about to switch my phone back to 11.
I can't afford a new one.
I don't know what's going on with these 14s and these 15s. I don't want my phone
Plug it
to
in.
be like listening to my conversation. That's mad weird. I think I'm gonna switch back to my 11 because, but it's like every time it's like if I switch back to my 11.
At this point, you guys are gonna fucking think that I am doing this for attention. You're gonna think that I'm doing this to go viral. But I promise you that is not the case. I swear that this is not, like, if I had not caught what I'm about to show you again.
I did watch her first video. I thought that was it because it had her picture of like what she was wearing and such, but it was that chick. And number one question for me is, how do you wipe with nails like that? I don't know. Moving on.
Again, on camera, you would think she's bullshitting, just like the previous video. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, earlier today I posted a video about some crazy shit that happened that I caught on my Ring camera. I posted it and it's been getting a lot of traction. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like 3 or 4 videos behind this one. I'm wearing a purple robe. Anyways, let me just give you a little bit of a backdrop. I normally film in my office, my beauty room, or my bedroom. That's where I usually am. Like I have lighting that, like, that's where I usually film. Because of my ADHD, I never sit in my living room. Like, ask any of my family members, I never sit in this living room where you currently see me. I never sit here. I never film here. Like, I just don't. I don't. First of all, I never sit because I just never sit. But anyways, I decided to sit right there and go through the comments, right? When I'm going through the comments of that video, and I notice that I keep getting the same comment of, oh, you probably already had that labeled. And because I noticed that I continuously got that same comment, I was going to respond with a video response, which I've already posted. It's the video right before this one. But because this just happened while I was filming that, I have to post this. This is insane. So I'm going to show you at the end of this. Once again, there is something going on. There's a glitch in the matrix. I don't know what's today's date, the 16th or the 17th. I don't know what this date has to do with anything, but something is going on. This is not my typical content. I don't talk about conspiracy theories. I don't talk about matrix. I don't talk about, that's not my thing. That's not my zhuzh. But if I hadn't caught it, you would not fucking believe me. I'll stop talking. Okay. So what do? I'm sitting there and I'm about to respond. I put some lip gloss on. I'm about to respond in a response video and I hear a fly behind me and I detest flies. Like, when I tell you I detest flies, I detest flies. So I keep a fly swatter right through the kitchen, right behind that, wait, I can't do it, that wall, right? You're gonna watch me get up to go get it. Now, there should be no reason that that fly swatter is not there. I clean up my house every night, every day. It's just where it goes. I make sure everything is in its place. And as you can see, my house is nice and quiet. There's a little bit of a mess on the kitchen table because of the mail and whatever, okay? I go to get the fly swatter. Notice that it's not there. I was just about to go into my bedroom because I'm like, where else would it be? Did I try to swat a fly last night in my room? Which I know I did not, because I would not go to bed without. Anyways,
it's not sinking.
And it on the corner of
now my ADHD is acting up.
I see the fly swatter.
Sink.
Mind you, I had just been sitting right there, and it was not there. The look on my face says it all. And then I look up at the camera like, holy shit, I caught that again. I'll go ahead and post it at the end of this. You can say I'm an attention seeker.
A bunch of blank things,
you can say that I'm trying to go viral. You can say that I'm trying to be clickbait. But I'm telling you right now, I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is 100% authentic and genuine. Believe what you want. I am not going to convince anyone because I know what the fuck is real. Like that motherfucker there, that was not real. Okay, bye.
Remember that chick on the plane? Fire.
Hate flies, bro. I hate flies.
I hate flies.
Fuck is my fly
Yeah, I don't like them either. had a few over in Ignacio that would not leave.
At this, a 7 p.m. alarm.
Did you know that there is a famous Irish song that
Now we're getting into fae. So fairies, then something else, then fairies again, but bear with me, grr. Like, we can get through this, right?
is said to have been written by fairies? And hold on, okay? I know that sounds silly, but the real story behind this song is honestly just as magical.
Some bagpipes. I wish I knew how to play that.
I visited the Blasket
Still the French
Islands,
horn.
and they are off the coast of the southwest of Ireland, off the County Kerry. And on a boat on the way back from the islands, a man told us the story behind the song Bert na Pookie. On the big island in the Blasket Islands, there were only around 200 inhabitants, and they lived there until the last inhabitants left in the 1950s. But another island was Inishvikalane, and one family inhabited the island. Now, this family was the Daly family, and they were renowned all over Ireland for being the most talented musicians in the country. This family lived on Inishvikalane, and they would make their own instruments. They couldn't read music, but they understood music on like a deep intrinsic level. The story goes that Paddy Daly was fishing in the sea in the early 1900s. He was fishing in a type of boat that was called a currach, and the bottom of a currach would be made with like a stretched and tarred canvas. As he's fishing, this fog rolls in. It completely surrounds his currach and he can't see anything. Now, he's not...
Instead of being fairies, wouldn't that be water sprites? Like, I know fairies and sprites are similar, but not the same.
Worried. He knows the sea like the back of his hand. He knows how to get back to Inishvikalane, so he just continues fishing. It is deathly silent. There is nothing, only just the gentle sound of the water lapping against the boat. That is it. Everything is calm. Everything is quiet. It's eerie. And all of a sudden, he begins to hear this sound. He has never heard this sound before. It is like a beautiful, mournful song, and it completely fills the air all around him. It seems to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once, and he knows one thing for certain, that whatever this sound is, it is definitely not human. He is so moved by this sound that he just sits and listens in this fog, not able to see anything, just letting this sound wash over him, and he memorizes the tune. He believes that what he is hearing is the song of the fairies. When he gets back to Inishvikalane, he takes out his fiddle and he plays the tune as best that he can remember. And that tune becomes the most famous slow air in the west of Ireland, Bert na Pookie. It is this beautiful song of sorrow and love and loss, and there actually are lyrics to
sirens?
it, but the islanders believed that you could only sing the words of the song if you truly believed the story in your heart. But here's where this story blew my little mind and feels truly magical. So many years later, a German musicologist was studying the roots of old Irish songs. He came across this song and he thought, oh, that's really interesting because that sounds familiar. And he realised that that day, what Paddy Daly had heard was not fairies. It is believed that Paddy Daly's boat was positioned in the perfect place. The sea was calm, there were no sounds around, and for whatever reason, the tarred canvas on the bottom of his boat became the perfect speaker for the pod of whales that were underneath singing to each other. He was just perfectly placed at the perfect time in the most perfect conditions to hear this whale song. It really is a beautiful song. I would highly recommend going and watching this video, which I shared a bit of earlier. Which is the full version of the song. It is important to note that you may have heard a different version of this story, and that is the beauty of the oral tradition. Stories change as they are handed down over the generations. That is simply the story that I was told when I visited the islands. Did you know that there is a famous Irish...
Not my typical content, but since it's
All right, now we're going to get into some ghost stories, and then we'll go back to some fairy stories.
October, can I tell you my real life ghost story? All the photos in this video are my own photos that were taken with my iPhone. Fall of 2020, golf travel took us to Colonial Williamsburg. We decided on the last day that we would take a ghost tour, and the first house in the ghost tour started here at the Peyton Randolph house. This place is said to be one of the most haunted places in America, and in the 200 years that it's been around, there's been 30 deaths on the property. The tour guide encouraged us to take pictures. She said that sometimes people will pick up strange disturbances or weird things in their photos. I ended up taking 3 that night. This one was the first. The second photo was taken here. I can't tell you which house this was because there were many houses on the tour, and it was so dark I wasn't taking many pictures because I felt like they weren't even showing up. I was pretty freaked out when I got back to my hotel room and realized what my phone had captured. And if you look at this image here,
that's what I'm saying.
It's from the flames.
Looks like it's running with a little knife.
But to me, it looks like somebody with their hand out saying stop. The last photo that I took that night was this one. And it captured this triangle. And in that triangle, I could clearly see an image even before I zoomed it. The image that I caught from far away was of this here, with 2 eyes, a nose, and the figure of a person. The even more incredible thing was this here, with the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the head, and maybe an angel wing. After seeing that, I went through my pictures that I'd taken earlier in the week and also found some interesting things, like the ground here and there.
Well, and I also have to say, while she's saying that, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, but if you've taken pictures of orbs, a lot of times you'll see a face. Sometimes it's smiling, sometimes it's screaming, sometimes it's doing different things. Sometimes there's several different presences in an orb, so what she captured is kind of similar to that.
Same spot, a few frames later, which appears to be fingers. Sun standing on the pavement, and this one at a totally different location. I recently reached out to Colonial Williamsburg to get more insight on the houses that were on that tour, and I haven't heard back from them yet. But I'll be going back beginning of November and taking this tour again. And in 2020, we weren't allowed in the houses, but now we are. Would you go in?
So let's talk about...
We gotta go back to Rico. Yeah. Okay, so if you look at Four Corners Paranormal Investigations, this is long before I did Spaced Out Radio, long before I started We Are Paradox Media. We did an investigation up there, and then the very next day we went up to the mines, which our security firm did security there the year before, or the fall and freaking winter, whatever. We were up there shortly before that to make sure that the locals who go up there for target practice weren't shooting the barrels that were full of like really bad liquids that they were getting from the mines. Well, anyways, so we did the trespass dance, and then we went, and Mia and my other friend were looking for rocks, and I was looking for Bigfoot and Bigfoot tracks. I did actually find them, but it was hard to pick them up in pictures because it was in gravel. But I tried to mark them with a stone at the toe and a stone at the heel, and I put my foot next to it just to accurately measure what size the foot was. But yeah, the mayor of the town said that if we came back, we have the key to the town. So any building we wanted to go into, we could. So yeah, we got to go back there. I'm just waiting for Mia to come back. I'm not doing this stuff on my own. I know how dangerous that is. I learned my lesson when I had a walk-in. Let's go.
This little haunted house that we looked at to possibly buy, why we're not buying it, and why my husband never wants to talk about this house ever again. Make sure to stick around because I will be showing you a photo of a very strange shadow box that you can crank that we found in one of the rooms, along with the close-up of what we believe is one of the ghostly occupants. Backstory really quick, we are currently selling our home in one state. When it sells, we're moving to another state. And a couple weeks ago, we took a trip out to this other state to do some home shopping. If you follow me, you know that I have a huge love for old homes, Victorian homes. I'm also a professional evidential psychic medium, so a ghostly encounter in an old Victorian home was bound to happen at some point. Now, this house was built in 1900, and it was the second house that we were viewing on the first day. While we were waiting for the realtor to open the door, my husband decided to take a picture of this house. You can see me right there, and remember for later, there are no trees behind me in front of this house. So we make it inside the house, we're walking around. Immediately, I found it a little bit difficult to breathe, which was to be expected. It's an old house, they were doing renovations at some point, and things were okay until we started going upstairs. That's when things got a little iffy. We make it to the top of the stairs, and the energy gets heavy. I immediately felt pressure in my chest. I could not breathe. I heard somebody had died in the house. I was hearing that there was a long-term illness. I started getting very, very sick to my stomach, which usually...
And I don't know if you know this or not, whoever ye may be, but certain paranormal entities or energies, etc., can cause harm to you. If you are subjected to them for a certain amount of time, you can get cancer, all kinds of horrible things. So yeah, this reminds me of a house that I looked at because my husband's like, hey, let's go look at this house. It's really cool. And it was a really pretty house, 2-story. Layout was all right once you got inside there. But like she said, once you go upstairs, like that's when I got the piercing feeling in my head. And as we walked around more, it got worse and worse and worse. And then as we went back downstairs, it was better. Come to find out, this house was an old abandoned church, and nobody should be living on hallowed grounds. So places that used to be churches that were not properly closed or cleansed or whatnot, proper barriers put up there before other things come in, because you know how dark entities are, or maybe you don't, but yeah, I was like, no way in hell are we moving into this house.
Usually tells me someone had a sickness or illness that was long-term that required treatment. While I was feeling all of these things going on as if it was happening to me, which is very typical when I open up and connect, I was also hearing tuberculosis. And while I was connecting in, I then hear my husband start freaking out a little bit. He kept saying over and over again, hey, it's really heavy in here. The energy is really heavy in here. I don't think this is good. I'm going to go back downstairs.
And it's funny, now that I look at this house, it is a lot like the other house, but not quite. It doesn't have those two sides coming out. It was just one.
What's interesting is neither of us went downstairs, and the rest of everything was a little bit of a haze because we kept kind of going from room to room. I don't remember the specifics of every single room. Some of the rooms I did not even go into. My husband and I get together and we're kind of going along the upstairs together because we're both having the same experience, which was very frightening for him because he is a little sensitive, but he chooses not to engage. And especially the feeling part of it was what was getting to him. At this point, we're not sure exactly where the realtor is until we walk into one of the rooms and we find her with a shadow box cranking this thing, spinning a picture that is inside the box that has this name all around the shadow box, repeated over and over and over again. I wish I took an actual picture of it, but I do have a picture, so let me show you. We walk in the room to find our realtor cranking this shadow box, which is spinning. This picture here, you can't really see it, but the name is repeated over and over and over again in this box. We immediately told the realtor to stop messing with the shadow box because nobody knows what it was, why it was there. It was completely random and very creepy. We left this room with the shadow box and we were all going to head downstairs. They started to head downstairs and for some reason I started going to a different room and immediately, whoop, I had someone come up to me and all I could say was, you know what? We're not going to mess with your house. We're not going to change anything in your house. We're not going to touch anything in your house. We're leaving. Immediately from there, went downstairs, didn't look anywhere else, went directly outside. So we're all outside. My husband's freaked out. My realtor's freaked out. And I'm bummed out because now we can't buy this house. My husband's completely freaked out. My kids would never go into this house. So I think that's it.
I would take my kids to that house.
We get to the hotel and my husband decides to show me this picture. But in this picture, he found something a little interesting. He shows me the original photo, obviously zoomed in. There is me.
Like several faces.
And right up here, what do we see?
Yeah, and over there, and over there,
here?
and over there.
And here it is, a little more close up. Can you
There's several
see
faces.
what we see? Now remember, what I said in the beginning of this video is there are no trees in front of this house. There was no bushes, no trees. This was up higher in the video. So we have that there. Now my theory is, remember this right here, and see that face right there.
Okay, let's do it again.
I believe that looks very similar to the face in the window. What do you think? There, I believe that looks very similar.
Back a little further.
Theory is, remember this right here, and see that face right there.
Not really.
I believe that looks very similar to the face in the window. What do you think?
What about the
Here
other
it is
faces?
again. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We showed the realtor the next morning and she absolutely freaked out. So definitely somebody hanging around in this house. So what do you think? Does it look like the picture in the shadow box? Let me know in the comments. So
looks like a little shadow
Did you know that
thing to me. So we're going to take this one back to the beginning. Let me go over here. Alright guys, gals, and ghouls, we're going to go to our first music break, and on this break we have Mr. Jeff Hilliard from Los Angeles, California. I don't know if you know, but there are tons of fires going on over there. Like, it is insane. They're everywhere. Everywhere. So, let's see. Finger Bang Your Day, Consensual Sex Fan, Silicone Wave, Clock That Hills, and Multitude. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
When your life is a never-ending train wreck and you feel like you're drowning in a sea of regret, with a bit of oppression pressing down on your neck, it hurts so bad. When your overwhelming hatred kills your heart's desire and reality starts looking like a dumpster fire, you start bitching to me, but you're preaching to the choir. You don't need to be so mad, 'cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world goes completely insane, open your heart, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, I'll finger bang my day. That's right. You gotta make the choice to give it all you've got and make your day long with pleasure, really make it hot, because you're
what are we really doing? We can't live in a world that has this much hate. We have to get honest with ourselves. We have to take stock in what our part is in all of this madness. We have to let go, and we focus on giving love, setting that intention. And each and every single one of us gets up every day with the intention to give love. And we do it. We go out there and we give love every single day. Each one of us gets out there and makes love to our day, giving our day a multiple orgasm. The whole world will be orgasmic for the rest of eternity. Sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we should. There's no reason to try when the whole world is fucking insane. We open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Let's open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah. Finger bang my day. Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Let me take you far away from all this huff and puff. There will be nothing in between our love, like a pair of doves flying high above, where nothing can touch us, touching softly. Don't let me go, I won't let you go. This is eternity with me, baby. Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? You don't have to be come with me. Magic, healthy laughter, boundaries, safe space, ongoing mutual consent, passion. Happily we'll be bearing our souls, naked by the sea. We'll breathe the clean air. We'll be living, laughing, loving forever. Baby, do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? You don't have to be alone anymore. We will be together forever in love. Do you wanna go for a ride? Do you wanna go in my consensual? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Just get in the van.
Like I'm on the move, moves. Got that multitude. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a multitude. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long. Never gonna cut it.
All these hookers sweet on me. Look at them chasing me, showing me that ass. And I bang up the snatch. I do this shit for free. Go down your mom till 3. She's taking selfies with the mullet like it's history. How can I maneuver you with that pussy, dude? You sit like Buddha waiting on it to come to you. My lines are straight to the point. She shows me gratitude. So what's your latitude? Let's adjust your attitude. Head with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
I got molar moves. I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that.
Head with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Cut it.
With a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini. You're like the butt of a butter knife cutting up panini. So climb back in your kangaroo pouch like a rolling genie. These moves are hot, these locks I got. This power cannot be disputed and it can't be bought. So you can find me in the studio with all these thoughts. You wanna bite my style, but you can't be what you're not, neighbor.
I got molar moves. I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long. Never gonna cut it.
Got that motherfucking ballin'. You wanna touch it?
Yeah. Next time you come around here with your bitch ass, just remember how my mullet makes your hoes pussy drip, drip, drip.
I got molar moves. I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Never gonna cut it. I got molar moves. I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Never gonna cut it. Never gonna cut it. Never gonna cut it. Molar moves.
Just a mullet, bitch.
Molar moves.
All up in a silly little yellow polka.
Never gonna cut it.
You're desperate and pathetic. Nothing but a coward. You're a fool with nothing to offer. No one will ever believe you. They see you for what you are. You're just a fraud, a shell of a person. And now the marvelous spirit of penetrate the demons that haunt you. They have you into the dungeon of the hate. I am the son of a...
I just got a package, I can't wait to get home. I spent all day tracking the shipment on my phone, all that she was lacking. I ordered custom, I can't wait to get some. Take it to the bedroom, bitch is always nagging. Now I got the air, I send this bitch is packing, going my way. I have a new attraction, don't care what you say, it's better in every way. Now baby it's time to play, we're gonna make us a tape and show everyone the way. Cause I'm going my way, riding up Silicon Way. I wanna see on the game with my new real dog, I'm gonna play. Just second way to my Silicon Way. She is here to stay. She's my new real dog, and it's time to play. She don't need expensive date nights, never talks back, I'm always right. Stuff it in her face with all my might. She don't even care, we don't ever fight. She never cries when I'm testing the suspension. We blow it up like it's fucking Armageddon. We make the videos because this is perfection. Look at this erection, I don't need protection. Cause I'm going my way, riding up Silicon Way. I wanna see on the game with my new real dog, I'm gonna play. Just second way to my Silicon Way. She is here to stay. She's my new real dog, and it's time to play. With my new real dog, I'm gonna play. She's my new real dog, and it's time to play.
The woman of my dreams. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Fais-moi l'amour.
Je suis amoureux.
Je pense toujours à
Enchanté,
tu es charmant.
ma chérie, mon
Tu es
futur
charmant.
dynasty. Is it touchy of the nipple?
Tu es chaud. Fais-moi
It's like living on a super yacht, making love to a robot. It's like owning a football team, but having sex with a robot. It's like winning an Oscar and Emmy or Grammy when you're fucking a robot. It's like saving a family with a newborn from a fire, but you're fucking a robot. I'm going my way.
Welcome back, guys, gals, and ghouls. Tonight we are doing trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT, and it's been pretty interesting so far. So let's get back into it, shall we? I'm just gonna mosey on over here. And this chick right now is talking about Faye.
1836, 17 fairy coffins were found buried in Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh. I only came across this story this week. I'd never heard of it before, and it's so good. It's so good. Basically, the story goes that in early July 1836, a group of boys were on Arthur's Seat, which is a hill in Edinburgh, and they were hunting for rabbits when they noticed a little gap in some rocks. And this little cave, the entrance had been filled in with some pieces of slate. So the boys, being curious, decided to see what was inside. And inside they found these 17, what they called fairy coffins. These fairy coffins had been placed in the cave in 3 tiers. So there was a tier of 8, a tier of 8, and then one singular coffin on its own. The belief was that these coffins had been placed in the cave over a period of time. The little coffins were quite simply made. They were carved out of singular pieces of wood, and then they would have a little lid nailed on with brass pins. But all around the coffins there were these little pieces of decorative tin that somebody had taken great care to place all around the sides of the coffins. The boys, because they were young and didn't know what they had found, managed to destroy some of the coffins simply by flinging them at each other on the side of the hill, because what else would you do if you found a load of tiny coffins? Of course you're going to fling them at each other. But when they were done missiling these little coffins all around the hillside, they did tell one of their teachers, who happened to be a member of an archaeological society, who gathered up the little coffins and brought them to be studied. And this is where it gets even more fascinating. So 2 experts studied the coffins. So these experts made some really interesting conclusions about these coffins. So firstly, they believed that they had been put into the hillside relatively recently, genuinely in the last couple of years. They also believed that the coffins were made, but that these little wooden figures were actually toy soldiers because their arms had been removed to make them fit into the coffins. They reckoned that 2 people were responsible for making the coffins, and they thought they were shoemakers because the little ornaments, the metal ornaments that were around the coffins, were the same metal that was used in shoe buckles. One of the reasons that they realised that these fairy coffins were recent was because the thread that was used to make the little outfits that were on the dolls was only used in Scotland after the 1820s, and that is the kind of attention to detail that I just would not have. I would have seen those coffins and been like, fairies, you're all cursed. And here's where it gets even more interesting. So these experts concluded that the coffins were all placed there at the same time. So they thought maybe it's representative of a load of sailors that were lost at sea, 17 of them. Or 17 people that lost their lives and maybe couldn't be buried properly. And if you're a true crime aficionado, you might be like, hang on a second, what happened in that time period where 17 people lost their lives? The Westport murders occurred between 1827 and 1828, and that was when Burke and Hare, body snatchers, turned to murder in order to make more money out of bodies by selling them to the medical school. And true crime aficionados will be out there screaming, hang on a second, Burke and Hare had 16 victims. Yes, they did. They murdered 16 people, but they used the body of one person who had died of natural.
Before they started murdering, they would rob graves, but it's easier to kill people than dig up people.
Causes. Now, just to be clear, this is not me jumping to wild conclusions. This was what the experts drew up in their report. They thought that the 17 little coffins were representative of 17 people who couldn't be buried. Initially, they were like maybe sailors lost at sea. And then they thought, no, hang on a second. What had famously happened a couple of years beforehand? The Westport murders. The bodies of the Westport murder victims had been dissected because they were given to science, so they never got proper dignified burials. But here's where I'm going to be really annoying, because there are lots of people who disagree with this. Simply because Of Burke and Hare's victims, 12 of them were women, and none of the dolls that were in the fairy coffins were wearing women's clothes. Anyway, the long and short of it is, nobody
Are they
really
wearing
knows what
any
these little
clothes?
coffins were for. It's suspected to be some sort of ritual, but they're not really sure. And 8 of them survived, and you can see them in the National Museum of Scotland. If you are somebody who does spell work, or you are a witch, or you think you might have an idea about what this sort of thing was used for, like, is it a mimic burial or is it for something else? I'm dying.
I'm wondering, is it like a voodoo doll? You know, you go to Louisiana or to the South, you find someone who does voodoo or whatnot, and they have voodoo dolls and they know different spells and different magic, etc. Is this like a different version of hoodoo or voodoo? Is this a different version of black magic and curses? I don't know, but it's pretty interesting. So when I first saw this, I saw fairy coffins. I assumed it'd be fairies, but these are wooden. I don't know. Pretty creepy. And the fact that their arms are removed, that makes them helpless.
To know. Genuinely, I'm not a witch. I don't know very much about spellcraft, but I would love to know what people think in the comments. So as I was editing this video, I just had a thought. What if it is some sort of mimic burial for the victims of Burke and Hare, and the way in which the coffins were found in the cave is important? So you had a tier of eight, and one coffin on its own. What if it was 8 murders, 1 victim who died of natural causes? Oh my God, have I solved the mystery?
She's so good. Go, girl. Let's go. Okay, so it's scary. Let's say, watch anyways.
You guys
okay.
remember that dude?
I just needed you to know you might have to divert your eyeballs. This could be tremendously bad for you. I don't know. Be forewarned, if you're fragile or have any other issues, please don't watch this, because I guess this is going to be hardcore.
Dude who I showed you the video that he found that woman standing at his fence, not moving, and it was terrifying. Well, there's an update. I'm going to play the update video, but also I'm going to tag him because I want you to go and check out his full page. He has like a full story of what's going on in his like neighborhood. Fair warning, don't watch this at night because that's when it came across my For You.
Shoot. Well, I guess we're screwed, guys, because we're watching this at night.
Page again, and I jumped. So here we go.
Unless you're on the other side of the world, then you're safe. But us over here in the Western Hemisphere.
Let's go and check if it's here.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Guess not. I guess it's not here tonight then. Feet like a spotless, you know. I guess it is not here.
What was it? Can you go back and zoom in with the crack?
You guys remember that dude who I showed you the video that he found that woman standing at his fence, not moving, and it was terrifying?
Okay,
well,
I'm going to pause this time because I didn't see it.
I'm going to play the update video, but also I'm going to tag him because I want you to go and check out his
Alzheimer's or sundowners or
story
something?
of what's going on in his like neighborhood. Fair warning, don't watch this at night because that's when it came across my For You page again, and I jumped. So here we go.
Oh, you jumped.
Let's go and check
It didn't keep you awake, did it? Okay, I'm going to be pausing periodically because I don't want to miss it this time, because I missed it last time when I was watching.
It's not.
I'm scared.
I guess it's not here tonight then. Feet like a spotless, you know.
What the frack?
I guess it is not here.
I saw an orb. I just saw it. Did you see it? Did you see it? Fables. What back? Nice. Welcome back. Yeah, did you see that creepy ass VIEIO right behind the fence? That was creepy, I must say. Yeah, he dropped the phone and ran. He was out of there, stage left, stage right even. Then I guess he finally, took the balls out of his throat, back down, and grabbed the phone.
You guys remember that dude?
Not me, coach. No.
I don't know if y'all have been seeing this creator's video on your For You page, but she's all over mine.
A very what? Lucky day. What happened?
So, you went to get food.
Hold on. Let me go back in with you.
So, go to the match, but I got you. So, now it's in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went to the park, we went to the playground after we were done eating.
Which one?
Very, very close to Farmington. Like, not Farmington, but what is it called? Farmer's Fresh.
Okay.
And there was this guy, and he was launching rockets. Like, those air rockets, and one of them had an engine. And I launched most of them, and he didn't even know it was there.
That's cool. Heck yeah, high five. Anybody else show up?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know them.
Well, who is it? Guys, gals, kids?
Kids.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, if you guys don't know, it's Troy's birthday, and he's 12 today. So, if you want to leave him a happy birthday comment, do so, and I'll let him know. Little boy, we got to get back to it. Since you didn't have time to go to the ranch, although there was plenty of time to do.
It was at 6:30 something.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, 6:59.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you had fun?
Yeah.
I'm glad you had fun. Alright.
And I said, go to the ranch in the morning and bring golf carts and shoot like and stuff. Skip the flight.
Heck yeah. Sounds like fun.
Like early in the morning so that we don't miss out.
So, well, you better not stay up late then.
I must.
Well, go on now. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's my son's birthday, so therefore I must cater. But, yeah, let's get back into this.
She made a video saying, tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. If you know me, you know I have a lot of those and I come with receipts. So my mom, my dad, my sister, and her newborn baby had just moved to this small town in the Midwest called Liberty, Missouri.
Excuse me.
Now this town is very old. It has a lot of history. The house that we bought and we moved into, I don't think was haunted, but I think it was more so the land itself that was haunted. To kind of give y'all an idea of just how old this town was and how much history it has, this building that's behind me is called the Oddfellows Home. This building was built, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in 1893. So very, very old. It's been a hospital for the mentally ill, the physically ill. I think at one point it was an orphanage. So this town has been around for a while. For the entirety of my mom's life, she's always had a lot of supernatural experiences. She's been very intuitive. So right when we moved in, she kind of sensed that there was some sort of entity or spirit, and we always thought it was kind of a childlike spirit just because it was more so playful and it just played a lot of pranks. It never really threatened us or our safety or anything. Now, as mentioned before, it was my dad, my mom, my sister, and her newborn baby living in this house, and the most activity happened in this room, which was the baby's nursery room. The doors in this room would always open and close by themselves. My niece would wake up in the middle of the night or really early in the morning around 3 or 4. She would stand up in her crib looking out over the room, yelling into space, yelling no, yelling stay back. I'll show those videos in a second. I would say the creepiest part about this room was that in this closet, which the door never stayed shut in this room, in this closet there's like a little crawl space that was kind of locked. Here's a better picture of the door. You can actually see in this photo that this door is like cracked open, and that's like how it always stayed. No matter how many times you shut it, that door would always open back up. Now, this bedroom was actually a Jack and Jill bedroom, so there was a bathroom connecting these two bedrooms that were right next to each other, and this bathroom is probably where the most creepy thing ever happened. My sister got out of the shower and saw this on the mirror. Now, mind you, she was the only person in the house. My dad was visiting family in Iowa. My mom was on a work trip. I was down here in Texas with my husband. And at this point, she had been alone in the house, just her and her newborn, for a week. This was the last day of the week that she was alone. And she takes a shower, and she gets out of the shower, and she sees this on the mirror. Mind you, we have lived in the house for like a year at this point. We've taken so many showers. That mirror has fogged up so many times. Never ever has a message been written on this mirror. Now, this is kind of where we were validated in the fact that we thought this was a childlike spirit. Not only did it play pranks and kind of mess with us like that, but we think that this spells out Anna Bo Anna. And then there's 3 little stars. You can't really see that one, but there's 3 little stars underneath it. And this just really confirms that like we were right in assuming that this might be a kid. As mentioned previously, my niece would, in the middle of the night, stand up in her crib and look out over the room and yell things like no and stay back. And I will show you guys that right now. Another thing that would happen a lot in that nursery was we would see a lot of orbs, and I know orbs are controversial, okay? A lot of people are like, oh, they're bugs, or oh, it's dust, or oh, it's just light from the camera and reflections and refractions or whatever, but just like the way that these were moving, like they had to be orbs. They had to be orbs, and I'll show you that now.
That is creepy.
The last
Is that
video
like grandma
that I'll
or
show you
something?
is me walking in the bedroom. As I mentioned previously, doors would open and shut by themselves all the time. Now, I understand when you walk through like a doorway, sometimes the door will close behind you because of the wind, but usually it needs momentum for the door to completely latch. The video I'm about to show you, I walked through the doorway at a normal speed, like I'm not running through the doorway, and you can see it slowly shut, and the door completely latches. Completely latches. No way that door completely latches with as slow as it was going. Watch. So to wrap up the video, I'll tell 2 more stories. I don't have any videos or pictures from these, but I'm pretty sure y'all can take my word for it. I'm obviously not lying here. My first ever like encounter with this spirit entity, whatever it was.
The word means nothing to me.
It was late 2019. I was just diagnosed with ovarian cancer, so I actually just had a pretty big surgery, and I was on some pretty hefty pain pills. I was on hydrocodone, so initially I thought I was just seeing things, but I'm upstairs, I'm in the Jack and Jill bedrooms. The bedroom that I'm in, the light is off. The bathroom that is connected to the bedroom, that light is on. So I wake up and I look in the doorframe of the bathroom and I see a figure. And it's nobody in my family. It doesn't look like anybody in my family. I see the figure, I get up and leave the room. Like, I don't stare at it, I don't interact with it, I just get up and I leave. I go downstairs. All my family is downstairs. Nobody was up there. And then lastly, probably the craziest thing. So it was just my mom, my sister, and the newborn. It was around the winter time and it was about to be a big snowstorm. So my mom and my sister left the house to go run a bunch of errands before all the roads closed. They get back home with all the groceries and they take out the groceries in the car and they take all the bags and place them on the counter. Now, mind you, no food is put away, no groceries are put away. They just simply put the bags full of food on the counters and they quickly realize that they forgot something. So they leave, they come back with the thing they forgot. When they walk in the front door, they see all of the food, all of the groceries that they brought in and kept in the bags are out of the bags, just haphazardly placed around the kitchen in like the most random spots. And probably the weirdest, like tiniest creepy detail of the whole story is the twist ties on like loaves of bread that was taken off of the bread and it was placed on the edge of the counter sitting up just like a little person with its like little legs crossed. So those are probably like the craziest stories that I have from that house. Like I said before, if you know me, if I know you, you've probably heard these stories because I literally tell them every chance I get.
So, I don't know. I don't feel like that spirit is bad. I think it's like a jokester. It's got a funny sense of humor.
Me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Back in 2012, my family experienced a series of events that changed our lives forever. We moved into the Main Street house and only were able to live in it for about a year because of all of the paranormal activity. I've tried telling these stories many times before, but because it's 6 years of consistent hauntings, I find it really hard to find a way to categorize everything and keep the story flowing. Behind me is the list of just one section. This would be one house's experiences. And there's also pre-stories leading up to these events. This is part one and the events that led up to moving into the Main Street house. I do believe that my family had some sort of negative entity, possibly even a demonic entity attached to it and be very possessive over it because we had many years of hauntings in every house that we lived in. And by the 4th house, I realized it's not the house, it's us. Things just seemed to progress and spiral as we got older, as more negative came into our house, the stronger these presences got. We would always hear mimics. There was always like some sort of strange tragedy that nobody could explain. Around 2011, my ex-boyfriend's grandfather passed away. We went to his memorial a year later. All the aunts brought these really beautiful, fresh cut flowers. They like moved all the furniture out of the living room so the whole family can come. They have chairs set up with grandpa's picture in the front and all these beautiful, fresh cut flowers.
That's sweet.
At the end of the prayer, there was a little flicker to the candles. Everybody got kind of cold, but it wasn't cold. It just had this chill feeling. And that's when we noticed that all of the vases were empty. The flowers were still inside, obviously, but the water was gone.
Whoa,
So all the
he was
water
thirsty.
I've never seen a vase empty. Of course, them being Hispanic, middle-aged, like Catholic women, stereotypically, I hate to use this kind of stuff, but they were like, no, like not in this house, not in El Rezo, like we're praying that this can't be, you know, because that would seem almost like dark energy. That would seem like a ghost presence, and anything paranormal to them is straight demonic. So it was kind of like, hi, just put a little bit more water. Let's get a pitcher and fill the vases up. It was very ignored and shushed. So everyone
like, those flowers were very thirsty, very, very thirsty. This has nothing to do with, you know, the person that we're grieving right now. Let's just give the flowers a little bit more water. Maybe they were cut early and they didn't get enough.
One kind of just sat back and was like, "Wee!" But it was definitely something that made you wonder. We live not too far from my ex-suegra's house. We drive home. It was very just intuitive feeling. We felt that something bad was going to happen. It was very cold. And
No.
when we lived in the hood, so you kind of nervous anyways, get into pulling in. But we get home, we walk up the stairs, and it just felt very, very, I want to say clammy as we were unlocking the door to our apartment. We have two boys that we're carrying. It's late. As soon as we open the door, every single one of my toddler's toys goes off. All of the toys go off at the same exact time. Like 3-in-1 toy, that's going off. There's like a little ball that rolls around on the floor, that's going off. There's just so many little toys going off, and they're not connected. So it definitely was paranormal. There's no other reason for that. They're motion activated, but we weren't walking that heavy up the stairs. And this has never happened before. My ex, he's just like, oh, it's just abuelito. Just abuelito, hey, like, they're fucking around kind of deal, And I'm like, yeah. We go to sleep, and I think about 20 minutes after laying in bed, I get a phone call that changed my life. It was my dad's ex-girlfriend. Her name's Karen. Karen was an avid user, and she's out of her mind, and she's yelling, saying that my dad had passed away. And I'm like, holy crap, what happened? I have so many questions, and she can only offer a few answers. She lets me know that she thought he had a heart attack and possibly like a stroke or like seizures and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So freaking out, frantic, I'm crying, I'm like on the floor, like I let out the most blood curdling cry that came from my uterus.
So for me, like when I got that call, I didn't answer my cell phone because I'm at work. I got the phone call on my work phone, and I remember my stepmom telling me that my dad wasn't here anymore. And I don't remember screaming or anything like that. I just remember crying, and talking to her and asking her what happened, etc. And then I let her go because I'm like, hey, I got to get back to work, and there's really nothing I can do, and we'll talk about this later. Well, then the manager of Walmart comes up and she's like, you need to go. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your scream was heard clear across the store, like every inch of the store. We heard your scream. You need to go home. This mother had shown up with her cute little toddler in a little tuxedo, and she was not willing to come back because it was so hard to get him all prim and proper and in his tuxedo. I'm like, just let me finish this one and then I'll go. But I don't remember screaming. I think that was like a blackout point because it was so stressful for me. It was something that I couldn't handle at that point. But then I came back. So I don't know, you kind of get disembodied or fractured or something when things like that happen. You don't remember everything, but it's very sad.
I never knew it was possible for me to make a sound like that. I call my brother. He already knew. He'd already been drinking. So I'm like, why didn't you guys call me? Whatever, family drama, right? I gotta drop the kids off. Like, we gotta take the kids back up to my suegra's house. We need to get to the hospital. So that's what we did. And on the way to the hospital, I call Karen again, and I'm like, so what's going on? Like, what's happening? Like, where is he? Where are they taking him? Which hospital? Like, where do I need to go exactly? Because there's a few hospitals in the area. And she's like, oh, he's fine. He's good. Don't even worry about it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Karen? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, okay, is he still going to the hospital? Like, is he that good? And she's like, no, they're still going to take him to the hospital. She tells me the hospital name.
What the heck?
He's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm just going to get some coffee and walk.
I'd be so mad right now.
And I'm like, okay. So I call my brother and I'm like, yeah, so I guess he's fine. He's good now. And he's like, yeah, I'm still going to the hospital. I'm almost there. Like, I'll see you there. And I'm like, okay. My sister's coming from 2 hours away.
That's when you should go right now.
Great. So we're all going to the hospital. When me and my brother get to the hospital around the same time, Karen walks in a few minutes after us. A nurse approaches us. She asks who we are. We tell her. She says, oh yeah, I'm so sorry for your loss. Like, he's here. They just brought him in on the back of the ambulance. Like, we're getting him like arranged. And I'm like,
she's here, but I'm sorry for your loss.
She's like, yeah, he coded on the back of the ambulance, so he's gone now. And I'm like, what the fuck? So back to feeling heavy and like, like what the hell's going on? And then they tell us we can come back. My sister gets there at that point. We're waiting for way too long, but I guess, I mean, if he was already dead, right? Like, so they take us back, And the doctor stops us before we go into this little sectioned off area. He's like, so I want to let you know that he is in a lot of pain and he's really groggy. And we're like, what the fuck? How is he in pain and groggy when he's dead? What do you mean? And the doctor's like, oh, nobody told you? And we're like, told us what? And they're like, after he got here, we were able to resuscitate him. He coded, but we got him. He's good. And we're like, okay, so what the fuck? Like, what? We're like looking at each other. My brother's laughing hysterically. Like, I think there was so much back and forth and he had been drinking heavily. So he's laughing so hard to where he's crying. And the doctor's looking at us like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, what the hell? Karen,